Hi, welcome back to my channel, Fabulously Frugal and Fancy. I'm Brandy, and today is day 4 of our Vlogmas. So I hope that you have been watching daily. If you have not, there is a playlist linked in the description box below so that you can catch up on these devotions that we've been doing. This Vlogmas, we are doing the 25 devotions that come in this book, Bring on the Merry, and these have been very helpful to me, and I hope they are to you as well. Let's get started. All right, this devotional is called Living with Anticipation. Christmas is such an incredible time of anticipation. Your efforts in planning and preparing finally come together to pull off a hopefully wonderful and meaningful time with your family. One of my favorite parts of the Christmas season is imagining my kids' reactions when they open gifts. As they've gotten older, we've moved away from giving lots of smaller items and instead try to pick one bigger but really special gift. I love spending time thinking about what each of my kids would love to receive. As Christmas Day inches closer, my excitement surrounding gift giving grows. No matter how hard I plan or how thoughtful I might be, though, there is always a little seed of doubt in my head wondering if they will love their gifts. So many years ago, the prophets foretold Jesus' birth. I, um, Isaiah wrote that, sorry, Isaiah wrote that he would be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, Prince of Peace. That's in Isaiah 9:6. Can you imagine anticipating the arrival of a king like that? Despite knowing a good king was coming to Israel, the Israelites still wondered and wanted more. They still met difficult circumstances and disappointing outcomes. I have to imagine there is a small voice in their heads wondering if it could be as good as it seemed. Don't we all encounter moments where we hope and anticipate only to hear the small voice of doubt creeping in? All of us live in expectation and anticipation. We consider what will come next and how we will live in light of what's coming. I wonder what anticipation you are living with right now. What are you planning and hoping for? Are you anxiously awaiting the arrival of a new baby? Are you looking forward to reconnecting with an old friend? Is the wedding of your son or daughter right around the corner? Are you living for the next vacation or reunion or break from work? Each of these events and countless more are so worth anticipating. They are joyful moments that God orchestrates for us, but in the end, even the moments we look forward to most are not enough to satisfy us. Christmas time is a season of waiting and anticipating. Many stores start reminding us of the Christmas season in September with the arrival of decorations. We save for Christmas outings, pose for Christmas card photos, hunt for the perfect gifts, and dream about sitting under the tree on Christmas morning. But what we often realize after the dust settles on these Christmas mornings is that all the bustle and chaos of the season doesn't necessarily give us what we need. It doesn't satisfy the deepest longings of our soul. No matter what you are expecting this Christmas season, there's one thing that we can expect and count on without a hint of doubt. We can expect to be met and cared for by a loving God, a God who fulfills his promises and continues to show up despite our doubts and questioning. Just thinking about that makes me smile. How about you? I'm sure there are lots of things you are excited about this Christmas. I know there will be plenty of beautiful, joyful moments with family and friends. But at the end of it all, remember that there is only one thing that will truly satisfy, and that is Jesus. Be encouraged by this. Let it bring you freedom and lightheartedness and confidence in God's plan unfolding in a way that is perfect and redemptive. Another powerful one, I think. It's very true. We need to just focus on Jesus and the reason for the season and not get all disappointed when something isn't exactly as we had anticipated. All right, moving on to the story part of the devotion, A Turkey for One by Lavina Goodwin. Laura's Uncle Roy is in Japan. He used to have Christmas dinner at Laura's home. Now he could only write her papa to say a box of gifts had been sent, and one was for his little girl. The little girl clapped her hands, crying, "Oh, Mama, don't you think it is the chain and locket dear uncle said he would sometime give me?" "No," replied her papa, reading on. "Your uncle says it is a turkey for one." "But we do not need turkeys from Japan," the little girl remarked soberly. Her papa smiled and handed the open letter to her mamma. "Read it aloud, every bit," begged Laura, seeing her mama was smiling too, but her mama folded the letter and said nothing. On Christmas Eve, the box, which had just arrived, was opened, and everyone in the house was made glad with a present. Laura's was a paper mache turkey, nearly as large as the one brought home at the same time by the market boy. The next morning, with the fowl in the kitchen was being roasted, Laura placed hers before a window and watched people admire it as they passed by. All its imitation feathers, and even more its red wattles, seemed to wish every man and woman, boy and girl, a Merry Christmas. Laura had not spoken of the jewelry since her uncle's letter was read. It was not nice for one who receives a gift to wish it were different. Laura was not that kind of child. When dinner was nearly over, her papa said to her, "My dear, you have had as much of my turkey as you wanted. If you please, I will now try some of yours." "Mine is what Uncle Roy calls a turkey for one," Laura laughed. She turned in her chair toward where her bird had been strutting on the window sill and added with surprise, "Why, what has become of him?" At that moment, the servant brought a huge platter. When a room had been made for it on the table, it was set down in front of Laura's papa, and on the dish was her turkey. "Oh, what fun!" the child exclaimed cheerfully. "Did Uncle tell you to pretend to serve it?" "I have not yet finished what he directed me to do," her papa said, with a flourish of the carving knife. "But, papa, oh, please," Laura pleaded. Her hand was on his arm. "You would not spoil my beautiful bird from Japan." Papa touched a hidden spring with the point of the knife. The breast opened and disclosed the fowl filled with choice toys and other things. The first taken out was a tiny box. Inside was a gold chain and a locket. The locket held Uncle Roy's picture. It was a turkey for one, for only Uncle Roy's niece, but all the family shared the amusement. All right, and in the activity part of the devotional, there is a couple of charts, and I'll read to you so you can do in your own notebook. Okay. Oftentimes, unmet expectations come from not saying them out loud. Today, in the midst of a busy Christmas season, use this space to write down expectations you might be carrying with you toward God. Write a prayer explaining to Him your heart, your desires, your hopes, and even your fears. Add in key scriptures to remind where contentment comes from. There's another section here. It says, "My prayer for this holiday season," and there's some blank spaces. Answered prayer. Come back and fill this in later. List all the ways that God has come through for you in the past and why you think He will do it again. It's always important to remind ourselves that God is there for us and that He does come through no matter what our expectations. And sometimes it's just important to just tell God exactly what you want. He does know our hearts and our minds, but it's always nice to know exactly and to be able to just talk to Him about it. So talk to God about it. I encourage you to do that today. And that's all that we have for today's Vlogmas. I hope that you have a blessed day, and we will see you tomorrow. Bye.